Hi, Living in Boulder vlog, the 5th of October of November 2020. Thursday, now it's about 1:30 in the morning on the 6th, Friday of November 2020. Have a little bit of asthma. Maybe I should do an inhaler. I need to order more. I need to get more from Medicaid, People's Clinic. I'm running out. It's been a while since I had some. Anyway, I've been up forever. I don't think I have my shower yet, but I don't think I'm gonna have one because it's 1 in the morning. I got up at like 10 or something, and I got to sleep at like 1 or 10 or noon. So 2 in the morning till 10 in the morning. That's 8 hours of sleep. So if I was to, it's 1:30. If I was to get to sleep at 2. And then get up at 10, that's 8 hours of sleep. So that's like working good night. And then you have kind of most of the daylight the next day. Yesterday, I went over to my mom's house. I drove over there after night because she said she had salad and soup. Sure enough, she had salad and soup. I went over there. It was good. But before I went over there, I had a microwave Mexican TV dinner. And that I bought yesterday. I think that's all I had to eat today. But after I went to my mom's house, I then drove and got crickets at the store because I did get more crickets or order more. I need to do that. It's so expensive when I go to that store. And the other one, and then one of them had just tiny little bitty crickets, and I have to clean the goddamn cage. All the worms I threw in there turned into bugs. There's all these little bugs running around. I gotta clean that from a little gecko. Anyway, damn, I'm like tearing up. I'm listening to a book called Brain Secrets from Esther or whatever. I can't remember, but didn't listen to so much today. I watched some stuff with Kirsten. We saw Wild Wild Country documentary about Osho, and then Uncut Gems. And we saw the other Adam Sandler movie the other day. But yeah, it got weird today because my roommate gave me utility money. So it was cool because I ran out last night. Yeah, and I need weed, and also I especially would have needed it today. I was going to get it anyway, but I would have needed it because I had stress because I got up at like 10. I worked for about 2 hours. That's what it seemed like. And in order to make up, because I lost work, in order to make up my work again, it took me about 2 hours of work. My computer froze. Normally, I'm building these, all of the skyscrapers of New York over a certain height, the top 143, and it's kind of difficult on Google Earth because the satellite photos come from the side, and the 3D photos you can't really see, but you have to kind of go around and look at them that way. But anyway, it takes a little bit of time. But I was working on that, and normally after each building, which is like 5 or 10 minutes a building, takes forever. After each building, I save it. It's my rule, because Google Earth crashes all the time, and after every one I save. But somehow I got into some like mind warp, and like I did something, like I think I just hit the mouse, and all of a sudden it just started spinning and it froze. And I gave it a good half hour because I was doing other things. Ordered the weed and for 20 minutes or whatever, and nothing happened. So it was just stuck. So, yeah, and it just happened to stick at a time where oh man, losing my train of thought. I've been up forever. Yeah, at a time where I hadn't saved it forever. I mean, so how could I have gone 2 hours without saving it? So crazy. And it was building 31 through 43 or whatever, or 20. It was a bunch of buildings, 15 buildings, and it was the most difficult ones out of all. It was ones where there were files in the wrong place because my computer has also been acting crazy. Not just that, it crashed the other day and I lost a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it wasn't 2 hours worth. This was bad. So I definitely would have wanted to smoke weed. But this other thing, which my computer is doing, which is causing problems, is it's fucking dragging and dropping stuff. If you look on Google Earth, you have folders within folder, folder within a folder. And Google Earth has the map on this side, and then it has the list of all the folders on the left side. And so when I want to open up a folder or find stuff, I have to move over to the left side. But the problem is with the glitch that my computer has, or maybe with my mouse. I'm on my third Apple mouse. They just die. They live for a little bit and then die. One of them, I was riding my bike actually this summer in here, and a little bit of sweat got out of the mouth. And then after that, it wouldn't work anymore, so I just had to throw it away or put it in storage. I couldn't bear myself to throw it away because they're like $80-$90. But then a couple weeks later, though, my other mouse, because I had two mouses because I have two Macs, just like stopped working. Just because. The same way the other one was. Just wouldn't track. Just stopped tracking. I started chopping like shit, and it wouldn't help, so I had to buy another one. So it could be that. But anyway, what happens is, when I move over to the left, even if it drags and drops. So, and even if I'm not touching, because they're really sensitive, even if I'm not touching the top of the mouse, because then I try to not do it, I only hold the side of the mouse, and I go over there, and if I want to go to a file, you can't go directly to the side. You come at an angle. So I'm coming at an angle to try to get to the file, and as I'm coming into the angle, it's like, thank you very much. It left click to hold it, and then it drags it, and then right click lets it go. And it was doing that before, like years ago, and like it's been doing that for years intermittently, but it does it all the goddamn time now. Even when I'm not touching it, I'm not touching the actual top of the mouse, or pushing anything in or anything. I'm holding it from the side. I'm just trying to go, and all I see is just a blip. It happens so fast because I'm moving across the screen so fast. I'm going, just to this folder, just like that. And in that, I see a blip. So even in touching it, somehow it knows when it's on this side, and then it grabs something and it drags it and then it drops it. So the problem is if I have lots of folders within folders, it'll just drop it into a folder that was previously closed, and then it opens it up. And there's so many folders that are so big, I'm like, wait, where the hell was I? What's going on? And so that happened to a bunch of buildings. It would just drag a file from a building into another building. And so that's what I had to fix today, because I was like doing a building, and I'm like, wait, what? That belongs to the other building? And then I'd move it over. And then I had to redo all of it all over. So I knew like how to fix everything. All the complicated stuff I had to do to the buildings, and then that drag and drop and put it back in the other one. But if that continues, that could become a real nightmare, because I don't know that it happens. The only clue that I have is there's a flash. And I actually did it once. I said, is it going to do? And I moved it over. And sure enough, as soon as the mouse got into the field of where the folders are, the whole thing just flashed. It was like, whoosh, like a lightning flash. It all turned blue. But it didn't do any dragging and dropping, because I came across just like that. So it would have had to drag the same. So what the fuck is that? Like, I was listening to these AI guys talking, Lex Friedman interviewing AI guys, and the AI guys are like, yeah, man, computers are so strong. AI's awesome in the future. Like, we'll kick brains ass. Like, humans are so fickle. The AI is just solid. It's a machine. It's perfect. And I'm like, and I've been thinking the last couple of days, like, that's not true. Like, computers are fickle as shit. Like where the hell did that whole mouse drag and drop thing come from? That's like just as fickle as the 3-year-old screaming and throwing its shit at you. And what about the computer crashing all the time? And Google Earth crashes in all kinds of ways too. Like, when I rename stuff, I can't right-click rename, because that'll crash the program. I have to right-click the one on the bottom, which is like organize, like it opens up the whole thing, like edit. And that's the only one that doesn't completely crash it. And there's all sorts of other ways. Like if you try to copy something off of the folder side with Control-C, it'll crash it. But if you copy it with the mouse, right-click cut, it won't crash it. Just weird shit like that. It's like a human, you know? So, anyways, but, sure. Anyway, so I was working all day today, and I'm building the buildings of New York for my XC4000 building to show the size of the building, you know? Put the little itty buildings on the bottom and the ones on the top, but inside the big one. But, you know, it's complicated to draw the buildings because I have to look at it from the side, and I only see one from the satellites. I only see one side of the building. And then if I'm going to build it from the models, I have to like go all the way around 360 and look at it and examine it up and down, and it takes a long time. But anyways, a lot of these buildings are complicated, and I don't want to like give myself a headache or take too much time, so I decided to cut all the corners, you know, and then just build basic, because the polygon tool is limited anyway. It's just, you know, it's just with levels. You can't do anything sideways or superimpose images on top of them and stuff like you can with whatever the SketchUp thing that they use on there. So I just wanted to do just a simple building that's like the sister building of it, or gathers the essence. And I think in a lot of ways it's superior to the SketchUp, even though the SketchUp buildings it's amazing what they do. Those 3-dimensional buildings, it looks like an actual building. It's awesome. But I think there's some things that that the polygon tool can do that are better in a lot of ways. And I think understanding the basic shape of a building from first sight is actually better with the polygon tool than with our SketchUp, because with the colors are so succinct, and you can color it also and make it so that the different levels call out at you some more, and so you're actually seeing the shape of the building instead of getting lost in the all the camouflage when it's all black and all camouflages together and in with the other buildings. And so yeah, it's cool. Buildings have their own personality, and it's interesting how you can rebuild it really realistically with the polygon tool, because the polygon tool is just straight up, and then the shapes, and that's what buildings are, you know? Like when the architect goes in, he's like, all right, I'll make the building straight up, and then it goes out this far, you know, so it looks the same. I made that comment when about Google Earthing Rome too, because the Roman Italian buildings are very angular, but all buildings are angular, but especially Italian. But so yeah, it can be kind of difficult with New York. So I kind of I cut a lot of corners, but I think I'll go and do one more perusal, or no, I'll leave it alone. And then when I go and build these buildings on Atlantis, on my XC4000 building, it'll be, it'll be my second time, because that's why kind of one reason I wanted to build on New York, and then freshly right after build it on XC4000. And it's all fresh in my mind. I know exactly what to do, and I can make a better version, a really good version. And because it's already more detailed, because I'm showing individual levels. I didn't do that in New York, but I do like seeing the buildings in New York, because you can then, you see how big New York is, and then you can compare it with the XC, and it helps with the visualization of the size of the XC building. But also, in its own right, I've always been fascinated by the skyline in New York. It's the best skyline in America, and I think the best in the world. In terms of, according to Wikipedia, it's the best in the world. Highest building than Hong Kong, higher 50th highest building than Hong Kong, and 143rd highest building in New York is taller than 135 building in Hong Kong. And New York had 143 buildings. Hong Kong had 135 or whatever on this buildings, I guess, over a certain period, certain height. So, best skyline in the world, and also most artistic, way more beautiful than Hong Kong in terms of the architecture. So to be able to look at all those skyscrapers in the other way, and then to see them all up there, the top 143, only the top 143, with all the other ones flat, instead of them getting them all mixed in with the rest of them, is interesting, So for New York. It's interesting. I also copied all the different lakes in Central Park, and I'm going to see if I can fit them in my Exceed 4000 building on the floor. So anyway, so that's what I did today. I finished building and erecting all the buildings in New York, all 143 of them, and then tomorrow, and so I'm gonna crash now, dude. And if I haven't saw me, I guess I'll get them working a little bit more. But what I'm gonna do tomorrow is start the day building these buildings on Atlantis on the Exceed, which is the whole reason why I started in them from the first place. And so yeah, do a better job and then be very thorough with it, like. When there's pools, put pools up there. When there are little structures, put the structures up there. Only make them look like houses with their own little areas, try to make it look nice. And nicer than in real life. And yeah, and then plus through. So let's see, it's like Friday. I said this would take a week, so if I can get done with all these buildings by Sunday, I'll be happy. That'd be awesome. That'd be a major win. That'd be 3 weeks on this project. And then it's one more week after that. Building all the other stuff and touch-ups and all that. And it'll be at least a week, but hopefully I can do it in a week, which will make it 1 month for the Exceed 4000, but it's worth it. I mean, so it's so much more complex than the Coliseum of Rome, which would be 3 weeks. It's amazing that they're so similar in time, yet so different in size. But my skills are better now, But, I made a lot of mistakes, so... If I were to keep this up in 5 years, I guess I'd be even faster. But no, I don't want to build too much Google Earth, Polygon tool stuff. But I think it's a good bet. You spend all this time on the Polygon tool because it's such a simple tool. I don't see any reason why they would ever get rid of it. Or you only perfect it, then maybe I could perfect my creations with the Polygon tool. Not even need SketchUp, like superimposing images on it, make it diagonal files and stuff. Anyway, I did my vlog. It's like 7:30. I'm gonna go and look at all the tears, lie down, go to sleep, and get going again tomorrow. Hopefully on Sunday I can get done with it. With New York and be done with the whole thing next week. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.